Hello everybody and welcome to game number 2 of this, I'm assuming best of 3, between Serral and Classic from the Esports World Cup of 2025. If you missed the first game, I highly recommend watching it. It was an absolutely bananas macro game between these two. And I also mentioned that I have not cast in a long time. It's been like 7 years. But I had a lot of fun in the last one, and I want to keep going, so we're jumping in here to game number 2. And I don't know these maps very well, so I'm going to take a quick look. It looks like we have 3 bases, relatively safe bases on this map, because, like, I guess there is a ramp here that goes down to where, like, a 4th location could be. But like this base, and this base, very close together. So that could be very beneficial for the Protoss of all people. I mean, the Zerg too, don't get me wrong. But the reason I'm specifically calling out the Protoss here is because getting that 3rd and 4th base can be extremely difficult against an aggressive Zerg. Granted, Serral is not known for his aggression. He is a lot more of the I want to get to the late game kind of player. He does go up there and scout, though. He does see that the spawning pool is on the way rather than even remotely done. So that's why we're going to go ahead and see him take that pretty quick Nexus. He went Gateway Nexus and then into the Cybernetics core. If you see that spawning pool finishing up, you pretty much have to abandon what you're doing and just immediately start preparing for the inevitability of the Zerglings on the way. I don't believe, let's double check, I don't believe Serral has scouted yet. No, he's waiting for the Overlord to get over there. So, as of right now, Serral probably going to stay on 2 bases until he gets the Overlord down here. He is going to see the Cybernetics core just finishing up, though, and he does see a chrono boost onto the gateway, but to be honest with you, he probably is aware it'll be an adept, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that 3rd base going down relatively soon. Zerg, obviously, wanting to get as many bases up as possible, as quickly as possible, for the larva and the income. He is going to chase down that probe, so that will keep Classic from seeing any additional information. We do have the speed on the way, and Serral did a technique that a lot of Zergs do. They'll get just enough gas to get that speed, and then they will take the workers off gas, and then primarily use just the mineral units to protect themselves, scout, and things like that, until a little bit later, until, you know, look at the Baneling Nest and maybe tech into Mutalisks, or whatever it is Serral decides to do. I do think Ling Bane Muta isn't nearly as popular nowadays. The Adept trying to get in here and do as much as it can. It has no kills right now. It's just using that Shade ability to get some scouting done. I doubt he lets this finish. No, he just wanted to get in there and try to see what he could do, but the Lings were on top of him. If we look, we do have the Oracle on the way. It's about to finish up. This Oracle, its pure goal here is to get a couple drone kills and scout. If it doesn't get the drone kills, at the very least, he doesn't want to lose it just immediately. He wants to get as much scouting info out of it as he can. Ling's continuing to run around. I imagine either this is going to attempt to do some kind of wraparound, or I'm actually not sure. That pathing makes me think he was looking for some kind of proxy. Ooh, I like that. This makes it so you can't cross. The Xel'Naga here, you can't cross. So whenever the Lings came up, he just used the Shade to get away. I like that a lot. And this is what I was talking about with the 3 base thing, and why I was emphasizing it for Protoss. Getting a 3rd base early as Protoss is extremely good against Zerg. And he's going to be able to defend it pretty easily. He does see the Lings trying to make their way over. I don't think he's too worried about it. I do want to note, though, we have 2 Oracles. I didn't notice that till now. We need to watch and see what they get done here. The Lings are trying to bust in, and they very well might. He's going to lose quite a few in the process. He does get a pylon built, though, so the Stalker will die, but the pylon will keep any Lings from getting inside. And it did force the Oracles back. I actually am a little worried for Classic right now. Those Oracles need to get over there and do something, because as of right now, let's look at the exact cost. It's been a while. We're sitting at 300 gas, 300 minerals, floating around doing nothing. And normally 300 gas isn't the end of the world, but you're talking 5 minutes into a round. That's a significant portion of the gas you've earned, and it's not doing anything. He does come up here. He kind of just taken free hits on the first Oracle. Second Oracle is going to lay that trap, but it only gets one of the drones. That trap will hold the unit there in place for a while, as you can see. 21 in-game seconds. Ling's going to try to see if they can get over here and get anything done. He doesn't see that there's a forest base down, so he's going to run across, kind of see what composition he can find. Oh, but the Adept's slightly out of place. The Lings do slip by. The Lings are coming in here. Will they be able to get anything done? We already have a couple of Stalkers warping in. Good micro on the probes to the right-hand side. And while I don't think these Lings are going to get much done, this is really annoying for Classic to have to deal with. He does have to invest APM into this. And Serral will see all of the tech. So, and again, it forced another little right click there with the probes. So he might not get anything killed, but he has done at least a little bit of damage economically, and he did have to invest some APM into getting that fixed. We are going to lay a trap down. No, he canceled it. Instead, we're just going to go ahead and fade into the natural, see what we can see. And I was wrong, by the way. I must correct myself. I don't think he was laying a trap. I think he was using the revelation so he could see up the ramp. So I think I just missaw that. And like I said, last game, really happy to see this. We have Storm on the way pretty fast after the Stargate. Again, the Shades are going to make their way up here. Let's see if they finish. They do not. And we have a double expand now coming in from Serral. Serral doing everything he can to just bring this into the late game. So I was watching a Loco cast of a game that was about a year old. It had Scarlet in it. I forget who she was facing. Gumgo, I think. I hope I said his name correctly. And basically, what made the game so special was Scarlet put down a Nexus. That's right. She actually found the opportunity to Neural Parasite a probe, and she put down a Nexus, which resulted in a mass recall on a bunch of Broodlords. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up isn't because it was cool, and you should go watch it, because you should, but because it was a very similar style where the Protoss and Zerg didn't really try to kill each other. It was very odd. I will say that Scarlet tried to do a very aggressive roach attack towards the beginning of the game, which was interesting because Loco was saying, and the video is about a year old, that Zerg was trying to avoid the end game because Protoss had such an advantage in the end game. So it's actually crazy to see that the meta hasn't changed much, but the biggest difference being that Serral is not trying to kill his opponent early. So we're seeing very similar setups. I will say the Ling Hydra is different. Scarlet did not go for that. And if this is like last game, we're going to see a ton of Banelings being made out of these Lings. And then he does like a Ling Bane Hydra attack. But I don't know if we'll see it this time because we have a bunch of lurkers. Last time he had some lurkers with it though, so it's completely possible. Another Stargate going down. So this is turning out to be very similar to the first game. Got the fleet beacon for the mothership, maybe add some carriers in there. And I'm very surprised. I want to see Protoss do something different. If you watched the last round, you know that I think this current meta and with these strategies, it's extremely Zerg favored, at least in the hands of Serral. Because I did mention, I did hear, by the way, Loco said that at this point, Blizzard is balancing around Serral. Because I guess Serral's just that good. And that other Zergs are struggling to actually pull this off. But in the hands of at least Serral, we're seeing, you know, I don't think Protoss can win if we go back into the same thing. We do have a Nydus room coming up, though, and it's filled with at least lurkers and queens. So we got lurkers and queens. I assume they may spread creep. Not 100% certain of their goal yet. We have some storms coming down onto the lurkers, which is getting them nice and tenderized. Not quite killing them yet. Ah! They are transfusing the lurkers through the storm. Okay, I love that. I actually really, really love that. So this is gonna force, I imagine, Classic to come back. I don't actually, maybe not. We see a couple oracles coming over. They definitely just take a look and see what's there. We have a couple tempests, but Tempest DPS is really low. So is Classic about to try to force a base trade? We have another Nydus worm coming up. I can only imagine this is so he can get his army over here to try to protect this base. But these lurkers aren't leaving anytime soon. And in fact, he might lose Tempest to the Queens if he's not paying attention, and I don't think he is. Those Tempests are very expensive, and they're going to go down to the Queens, so they're not even able to do the small amount of DPS they already do to those lurkers. And oh no, in the meantime, up here, Classic was unable to get this base. So not only did Classic lose a bunch of Tempests and this expansion, he was unable to trade effectively, but we did have some Zealots make their way over here to the right-hand side. And if you look on the left there, they've killed 13 drones so far. So it's not a complete complete loss on the side of Classic. He did do some damage to the economy, but we're talking about an entire Protoss base gone and a few Tempests. Again, Tempests are going to do everything they can against these lurkers. In fact, they're going to focus down the Queens first. I think that makes a lot of sense. And if we look at the production tab, we can see, of course, more Nydus worms being made. We can see that Spire being made, which means we're going to see a greater Spire more than likely. We have the Nydus worm coming up in the main base, while the army of Classic is over here trying to deal with the Nydus worm on this side. Meanwhile, lurkers are assaulting the 4th base of Classic. So unfortunately this does go down. I think the cannon killed it itself. But this is just spreading Classic thin. This is something that I was talking about in the first game a couple times, is that Serral is mighty good at spreading the Protoss thin across all of their bases. That is, I think, in my opinion, Protoss's greatest weakness, and why we've seen a return to the mass recall, why Blizzard has really emphasized bringing that back, especially at the speed that it works. But it doesn't really matter. Serral is able to take advantage of that weakness very well here. Classic is taking a lot of damage, and if you look at the minimap, Serral, I mean, he's expanding. He's just got some units over here. He's not being harassed, and this whole time Classic is just doing anything and everything he can just to stabilize. But this happened last time as well, if you remember. This exact scenario essentially happened, and Classic did actually break it and continue the game. We have 3 Zealots up here. I think I saw a Warp Prism, but I think it either died or got moved somewhere else because I don't see it on the map anymore. He's going to push these lurkers back. He is somewhat stabilizing, but the damage is done. He's only on 3 bases. I believe only 2 of them are mining. He did try to send these Zealots up here to do damage to Serral, but obviously not quite able to get that done. His main base, half mined out. Natural half mined out. He does have this base coming up, which is not mined out at all, but of course it's not even up yet, and this base is no longer here either. Serral leaving a lurker there to make the Protoss's life hell as well. And I think we're at a point where if you look at Classic moving out, I think he believes this game is in a really bad spot, because it is. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets extremely aggressive soon to try to force some trades from the Zerg player Serral. That Protoss army flying across the map, but Serral already on his side of the map. Tons of Corruptors to try to deal with this. So many Lurkers. Lurkers are going to go down. We do get the Envision onto those Lurkers, which I think, by the way, might be the main point of the Oracles now. Maybe they were there just building energy for those Envisions instead of doing damage, so I think I was wrong there. We do have a Nydus Worm down here, by the way, and 1 add-up is killing it, so that's kind of funny. And Classic now, this is a little bit of a desperation move. He's going to move up here and do everything he can to do damage. He's going to try to kill off this base to at least hinder Serral. But Serral going to go ahead and put up a Nydus Worm. Is he going to use it to evacuate the drones? Oh, that's sick. Oh, that is sick. I love that. Meanwhile, we have a bunch of lurkers going into the main bases of Classic. Now, here's the thing. Classic did get this base destroyed, but I don't think that it matters. We have half a base, half a base, a full base, and a full base versus a Protoss who is not even on one full base, or at least trying to get on one full base, but failing to do it. We do have an extra expansion here, so every trade right now is in Serral's favor just because of the economy, let alone the fact that he can rebuild his army. Whereas Protoss, when you go this build, you can't just rebuild your army. I don't know if this is genuinely an unbreakable meta. I think there's got to be something better. This is only my second game back, of course, but I'm hating this. I don't think this is how the Zerg should be playing, or I'm sorry, the Protoss should be playing, at least against Serral. It just doesn't work. I don't know what else to say. Lurker is now coming in down here. Again, stopping the Protoss's mining. Dude, these Nydus worms are insane. I honestly think it might be worth Protoss leaving like a Stalker or Zealots, just one or two at these locations, and doing everything you can to kill the Nydus, because every Nydus that gets up is going to hinder the economy of the Protoss that much more. And that's a fucking problem. I mean, as you can see, Classic just not able to stabilize. If you look at the economy, or the economies, the supplies even. And the bank for the Zerg player is getting higher and higher. So as that bank continues to get higher and higher, the more Serral can trade, and he doesn't care. Whereas Classic, trading those expensive units. Gosh, man. This creep tumor is going to be an absolute nightmare, because when you kill the creep tumor to try to take this expansion, it takes a while for this creep to go away. So even if he does, which he did, kill those creep tumors, if he wants to take this base, it's going to take a very long time. It's actually crazy how fast Lurkers move. Like, he didn't even have the Nydus Worm to get these out of there, and they're still probably going to get away. I almost wonder if Lurkers need, like, some kind of speed nerf. I know, according to Loco a year ago, so they might have changed since then, the game is very much being balanced around Serral in a way, because he's pulling these in crazy, like, moves off. But I almost wonder if Lurker speed is an issue, because he didn't even invest a Nydus Worm there. I mean, I guess he did to get them there, but not to run away. Serral needs to be careful, though. He is taking significant damage right now. Those storms are hitting like crazy. The Tempests are doing the damage they need to do. A couple Broodlords go down. The storms really weakened these up. These guys are hurting, which means additional storms are going to bring them very close to death. This base does go down. If Classic can keep this army alive, he might just win this. Is Classic actually going to pull this off? Serral trying to get those drones to another base, but oh, that timing. A lot of them do die to the Protoss Death Ball. All right, it does look like Serral trying to get over here and do a little bit of damage. He's not sure how he wants to do it. One of the key differences between last time and now is the lack of Vipers. Serral does not have any Vipers, meaning he can't pull any of these big units into his, like, Corruptor Death Ball. And I genuinely think that might get him killed. Some massive storms coming down on all of the Zerg units. Pretty full health, though. That is a lot of Corruptors. Corruptors moving in now. The Mothership does not go down. Wait, did the Mothership die? I seen the mass recall. Does the Mothership still die? It does. So the Mothership does die, and look how weak all of these Tempests are. Oh, and there goes Classic. He does GG out. Guys, I don't have the answer. I don't. But if this is genuinely the best Protoss can do, it's looking scary. It's just not something that looks viable to me. It seems unable to move, and when it does move, it has to stay clumped, which sucks. I mean, I get it. That's normal for a Protoss Death Ball, but it's more than normal, because you also have to keep it alive at, like, all costs. You can't leave it up, or you can't let it die at all. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see how this next game goes, because guys, this whole weird death ball thing from the Protoss versus Serral, without even Vipers that time too. He didn't even have Vipers. I don't know. I'm worried. But if you're enjoying, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when the next cast comes up. Like the video, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.